This episode of Bouts Talking Bouts is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Winning parlays, if you're looking for them in BKFC, you got to be checking out BK Bet Shark. Here's the thing, $50 buys, you get a personalized bet slip. It's based on your own budget. You can be flexible. It is what works for you. And this guy's got the receipts. You can check out all the winning tickets. You can peep them, and you can do so at Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Check him out on Instagram and get with it. Got them personalized betting slips going on, $50 buys. All right, on this episode of Bare Knuckle Radio, very excited to be talking to an individual coming off of quite the impressive first-round finish in the headliner of BKFC 55, and that all went down on November the 18th. We saw Jared Warren put away Danny Christie in a very meaningful win, definitely shaking up the weight category, and very excited to have Jared back on Bare Knuckle Radio. How are you doing, man? I imagine feeling quite good after a win like that.
Yeah, man, feeling good. You know, just kind of getting readjusted back to our time zone and everything. But all in all, man, I feel great.
And obviously a lot to talk about with the fight itself, but I was seeing some interviews kind of leading into the card, and you were talking about, maybe I'll try to spend like a touch of extra time there to maybe work in like a quick touristy thing or two. Were you able to do that out in the UK by chance?
No, it ended up kind of looking like too much of a hassle, travel-wise and stuff. So, we got back to the hotel from the fights probably close to midnight, and we had to leave the hotel to get to the airport about 4 a.m. So we never went to bed. We just, they had a nice little like lobby bar area where we were staying, so we kind of just stayed up and had a few drinks with the locals, and just shot the shit with a few people and stuff, and then just went to the airport and really didn't end up getting any sleep till like close to the afternoon the next day, because we had like a connecting flight over in Amsterdam. We had like a 4-hour layover, and then we had the long, like 10-hour flight from Amsterdam back to Florida. So that was the first time I was able to get a little bit of sleep in.
Yeah, for sure. And just, curious who all was over there with you. Like, I understood Crystal Pittman came over with you and everything, which I would think would be cool. But it seemed like there was probably some other Shift MMA compatriots. Like, who was all with you for the overseas trek?
Yeah, so, Crystal was there, of course. My head coach, Jihad, and his wife. My other coach, Rick Coleman, came. And then another guy named Troy, who he kind of helps, like, co-manage some fighters with Rick on the side. And then Troy's wife came. So I think that adds up to us being, like, 7 of us total. And it was nice, man. A few other people were kind of scheduled to come with us, but had some legitimate family issues come up late. But we had a nice little support group there, which is very necessary whenever you're kind of in enemy territory, as they call it.
And I mean, just curious to, I guess, hear like about the reception. Like, you talk about being in enemy territory. Like, did you notice like a certain temperament with the crowd where there was like that, I guess, pronounced kind of partisan support for Christie? I mean, obviously they're going to be cheering him, but like, would you say they were largely like pretty casual with you, like the UK fight fans, or was there a level of booing or jeering in general you noticed during like fight week or the fight itself?
Well, I mean, during the fight was the only time that there was anything that was kind of like, you could be perceived as negative, and that there definitely was some booing. But again, that's expected. But aside from that, I have to say, like, everybody that I actually met in person, spoke to face to face, everybody was really cool and, inviting and polite, even other fighters and stuff were like, happy enough to be like, hey, mate, can I get a picture with you? Like, they were really cool people. And, the hospitality was great. The whole BKFC, UK, management that set everything up. They took good care of us and everything. And, I definitely don't have any complaints. So, yeah, when I say enemy territory, it's just on like a sportsmanship side, but really, all in all, everybody was very nice and very cool.
Yeah, I mean, that's great to hear, and I guess just talking about the actual way the fight played out, I mean, could it have played out any better? I don't say that in a disrespectful way to your opponent, obviously, but just in terms of getting that first round finish over the guy who was, previously ranked the number one contender at light heavyweight, which you've since usurped with the last rankings update. So, I mean, did that go as picture perfect as it could have, that fight?
I really do think that, I mean, that's as good as it could have get, because, I mean, even, I wasn't trying to be humble when I say that that I didn't think I would get more than 2 or 3 rounds. That was kind of my expectation, but yeah, honestly, like I had like a little bit of a black eye from like I think we like butted heads at some point, whether we were in the clinch or whatever. We kind of like had that one move where we rolled around on the ground for a second. But honestly, like other than that, like he never connected with a punch. So yeah, to come out virtually unscathed, get a first round stoppage of somebody that is a high quality fighter, like Danny, is definitely the best I could ask for.
Yeah, and like I was saying just a bit ago, how it kind of put you in that number one contender sort of spot. It would seem that you're well positioned to, face the champion, and kind of interesting to see the general layout, because the last time we were talking, it seemed like potentially Lorenzo Hunt was maybe eyeing like a third title. Like there was some discourse about maybe him looking at that heavyweight title, but it seems like with like the Adams-Terrell rematch, and then some talk about Rothwell Duffy being a heavyweight title eliminator as well, it would seem like it kind of creates a certain clarity in that division, just with how the landscape is now. Like, do you foresee next year a fight with Lorenzo Hunt coming to fruition, the lineal light heavyweight champion right now?
I do, and I hope I'm correct, because there's always been some chatter of like him possibly vacating the 185 title because he is on the bigger side, and it is a pretty drastic weight cut for him. But, he's been vocal saying that, if he has a title, he's going to defend it. And I do hope that's the case. I would much rather fight him directly and take the title from him rather than him vacate and then, me end up doing fighting for a vacant title. So yeah, I haven't heard any talks of him actually having a heavyweight fight lined up. So I'm hoping that's the case, that we'll fight, within the first quarter of the next year, because I'm not positive on this contractually wise, but I believe that if you do hold a belt, unless there's like some extenuating circumstances, you have to defend it within a year's time. And the last time he defended it was February of this year, when he fought Richmond. So if I am correct on that, I could see, possibly a fight in February happening with him.
I was going to say, I feel like we're on the same wavelength. I was going to say, just based on how, the schedule is laid out and like the caliber of fight it would be, etc. I mean, it could fit well within on that KnuckleMania card. Is that like your ideal, I guess, unfurling of events? Is that like the ideal scenario, I guess?
That really is. Me and Crystal were actually talking about that last night. And, yeah, that would be best case scenario. You know what I mean? Like, biggest fight on their biggest platform. Yeah, I mean, they keep, BKFC has been doing a good job of one-upping themselves with each, kind of bigger pay-per-view cards. So I don't foresee the next KnuckleMania being any different. So to be, I kind of feel like if, to his credit, if Lorenzo is on the card, he usually ends up being the main event. So to potentially be headlining something like that would just be awesome, man. I couldn't ask for anything better.
And it seems like you see a bit of a mental edge, at least relative to like some of the previous opponents Hunt has faced. Like I saw a recent interview that was posted on the BKFC site where you were kind of talking about, I mean, he's obviously got skill, but I think there's a bit of a history of the opponents almost giving too much respect and not really I guess, pressing the issue. I mean, yeah, I would think that maybe stylistically there are certain variables in your favor too, but like, do you think that's like one of the more, I guess, predominant kind of differentiating factors between you and maybe some of the previous people who Lorenzo has fought?
Yeah, you did kind of nail it on the head. I think that there's some good fighters that have gone up against them that when they fought other people, they put 100% effort, but then when they're fighting him, they're holding back, giving 60 or less, and you're not gonna win a fight, only giving a percentage of yourself, and that's something that my coach has always spoke on highly, and I mean, like, to me, at the end of the day, even though there would be a lot of hype surrounding the fight, when it comes right down to it, it's no different than what I just went for. It's just two guys jumping in the ring that are going to go after it, and there's all the other stuff, all the people that want you to win or want you to lose. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, whoever starts connecting first and connecting better is gonna come out on top.
Yeah, kind of a random thing I just thought of, but I was seeing a recent interview you did, and you were talking about how, like, Crystal is great at making the pastries and stuff, and how you don't have to, like, abstain from them before, like, the weight cuts. I mean, I don't really have a question in bringing that up. I just thought that was cool. It probably gives you a certain level of joy.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. She likes to cook. She's really good at it. She's creative, and it makes it nice to always have delicious things sitting around the house. And that kind of comes with being a positive of fighting kind of closer to your walk around weight. It's just never having to diet or cut calories.
Yeah, I love to hear it, and I guess just at the time of this recording, with the proximity being right around American Thanksgiving, like, what are you looking to, I guess, especially, mow down on, as it were? Like, do you have, like, a go-to sort of dish, or is it kind of just, like, everything is great and you're down for it all?
Yeah, I mean, I do like, having a variety of things to pick from. So tomorrow, I'll actually be back at the firehouse for Thanksgiving. So usually, all the guys just kind of bring in a couple of dishes from the house, and everybody kind of collaborates and ends up cooking the meat together and stuff. So I really, since I've been off the last, few weeks prepping for the fight, I'm kind of excited to see what I'm going to walk into tomorrow and what kind of food we're going to have on the menu.
That's cool. So, like, what are you looking to bring to that? Do you have, like, a go-to sort of thing that you bring to these potlucks? Is this kind of like a first for you, or I'm kind of curious about that?
We haven't decided on anything in particular, but Crystal's already offered to make a couple of, like, yummy side dishes. I'm not sure what I'm going to bring yet, but she's never cooked anything that me or other people don't like. So I'm kind of curious and excited about it myself to see what it is.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. And I mean, apologies if you said this earlier, if I'm misconstruing, but you were, talking about how you and Crystal were mentioning how KnuckleMania could be a potential next date. Was that just in the context of, like, what your next fight could be, or is she also looking to maybe compete then, just because I know she had a bout fall out very short notice recently?
Yeah, if she had the offer and opportunity, she would 100% fight on KnuckleMania as well. We're thinking that she might be on the one just previous to that. It's going back to Miami in the beginning of February. So since that's only, a 4-hour drive from us, that's a good possibility for her, because I know that BKFC does want to try and give her a quick turnaround fight with the mishap that happened, at her last one she was supposed to have. So, I would guess that one way or another she'll be fighting within the first couple months of next year.
Yeah, I mean, just with it readying to transition to the next calendar year, it just seems like 2024. I mean, Shift MMA has had, great years just with what it's been doing so far, but it would seem like 2024 could especially be a banner year, just with, Crystal looking to compete in that first quarter. It would seem like you're lined up well for a title fight. It seems like David Mundell could potentially do some great things. Like, I'm seeing some dialogue potentially about, Mike Perry maybe even fighting Mundell for the title. I mean, who knows? But just to say in a broader sense, it would seem like 2024 looks like could be a huge banner year for, the team at Shift.
I think it will be, man. My coach Shahad just he put up a post yesterday. I don't know if you happen to see it. How for 2023, none of our fighters lost or let anybody get out of the second round even. So that's a big year for us. This my fight last weekend was the first international fight for our team on the bare knuckle side. So it's cool to kind of expand like that. But yeah, I would love to see Mundell defend his belt against Mike Perry. I think that's a fight that they both deserve. I'm not gonna lie, and from Perry's side, I'm sure he's looking for what he considers bigger money fights, aside from just getting the title. But I think that's the fight to make because no disrespect to the 175 division, but I feel like at the moment there's nobody else that could really challenge Dave. He's been very dominant over the last few guys he's gone up against, and they weren't like they were close fights either. You know what I mean? Like he's been taking care of business relatively quickly and easily. So Perry being a tough dude, I'd love to see that fight. We got a few other up and comers that are with us. Jafar Fort, goes by Knox. He's 3-0 now. He's hoping to get a bigger challenge. Most of his opponents have been on the newer side, not of any fault of his own. It's just he's just been taking what they've been offering him, but they've been mostly prelim fights. So he's ready to step up to main card and get some more experienced opponents and stuff. Crystal destroyed her last opponent, and I don't see anything but the same coming out of her. She's just been getting better exponentially in there, putting a lot of time in. So, we got Michael Larimore. He's funny. He kind of dabbles. He's not always in there training due to his schedule, but his two bare knuckle fights that he had, he took on short notice and won them both. So that's pretty cool for him. So yeah, we just got a really good stable, and I just see big things for the team and Shift MMA coming up.
Yeah, and I mean, Dave just recently encroaching into the pound-for-pound rankings, and if you get the desired next fight you're looking towards, would also be the case for you, just with Lorenzo being number 2. So it could be cool to see a couple Shift guys in that, pound-for-pound, top 5 hierarchy.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I mean, and Dave definitely should be in there, man. Like, he's what? I believe he's, what is he, 8-1 now? 7-1 or 8-1, one of the two. Either one, but he really should be undefeated, honestly. I mean, the one loss that he had was to Hector Lombard, but I was there live for that fight, and a lot of people know that he really did win that fight, but it just didn't look like the judges wanted to spoil it for, Hector Lombard's debut. But I definitely say he's one of the top pound-for-pound guys out there for sure.
Yeah, I definitely agree. I mean, he was a guy that I'd ranked in there on the rankings update after his last fight, no doubt. But really appreciate all the time and insights, man. Great getting to talk to you after such a big win. But like I was kind of saying before, also want to be mindful of your time and schedule, Jared. So I'm curious if there's maybe any final parting thought you'd like to add as we're kind of wrapping up, man.
No, I just want to, thank everybody that supported me. I know there was a lot of people that did count me out for this last fight. I think a lot of people thought that Christie was going to run away with it. But there were plenty of friends and family and just fans that that didn't have a doubt in me, which was nice to have that support. You know, even if I'm over in their country, I knew back in the U.S. everybody was still watching and cheering for me. So I just want to say I appreciate the support from everybody.
Yeah, and like we were saying before, I mean, just picture perfect kind of win, finishing a great talent and coming out of it unscathed. So, I mean, thanks for coming on and giving great insights after that Danny Christie fight, a great main event at BKFC 55, and would seem like a lot of great things to come in 2024. So thanks for coming on Bare Knuckle Radio again, Jared, and you enjoy the rest of your day, man. Happy Thanksgiving for tomorrow as well.
My pleasure, man. Thanks for having me. You have a happy Thanksgiving as well.
This episode of Bouts Talking Bouts is brought to you by Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Winning parlays, if you're looking for them in BKFC, you got to be checking out BK Bet Shark. Here's the thing, $50 buys, you get a personalized bet slip. It's based on your own budget. You can be flexible. It is what works for you. And this guy's got the receipts. You can check out all the winning tickets. You can peep them, and you can do so at Bare Knuckle Betting Shark. Check him out on Instagram and get with it. Got them personalized betting slips going on, $50 buys.